Hello. Hey, Will.
Hey, how's it going, Arlemi? Thanks for having me.
No worries. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Postman live stream. If it's the first time you're seeing us here, we stream every Thursday around, what time would it be now? 4 p.m. UK time, which is 5 p.m. GMT, I want to say. And I don't know. It's whatever time it is where you live. That's the time we stream on every week. So welcome. I'm Arlemi. I'm a developer advocacy lead at Postman. I'm based in the UK, and I'm joined today by Will. Will, do you want to tell us who you are, what you do, and where you are? As much as you're comfortable sharing.
Yeah. No, hey everyone. My name is Will. I'm a developer advocate at Miro. We're based out of Amsterdam here in the Netherlands, but we've got offices pretty much all over the world. So yeah, I've been at Miro for about a year and a half. And before that, I was at Zoom working in a similar kind of role with REST APIs and webhooks, all that kind of stuff. But I work on all different aspects of our developer platform, from our REST APIs here at Miro to our web SDK, developer content, documentation, and more.
Nice, cool. So hopefully we'll get to learn a lot from you about Miro today. I see quite a few people joining. Some of you are letting us know where you're joining from. I see someone from Chicago. If you want to share where you're from, please do. It's always good to see the breadth of people that are joining. So we usually start the stream before we jump into the actual content of the stream. I'm going to spend 2 minutes updating you on what's happening in the Postman world for the last week. So since the last live stream, we've actually had a pretty big release with tons of stuff. So I'm not going to go through all of it because that would take an entire live stream. And we actually have an event that's coming up just for that. So I'll share my screen right there, and I'll try to make it so we have enough space for everyone on the screen. Okay, that should do it. We've got our faces, we've got you all on the chat, and then we've got the screen. So first thing I want to talk about is the intergalactic session. We've got one coming next week about API security. So it's like an hour-long session about different topic. So if you want to register for that, it's much more prepped. I'm not saying we're not prepped with Will. We have prepped a bit, but this is more like webinar type. So if you're looking to learn more about API security, you can join that one. Let me post a link in the chat for everyone. In terms of new stuff, we made some updates to Postman Flows. So if you're familiar with Postman Flows, it's the low-code way of creating workflows with APIs in Postman. We're going to do a bit of that, or when I say we, Will is going to do a bit of that today. So you'll be able to see that live. We've also released performance testing, API performance testing in Postman. So now any collection that you have, you can go in, run it, and you should be able to see, let me zoom out once more. There's a new tab here on the right for performance, and that allows you to do performance testing. So kind of spamming your API with different virtual users and making sure that your API behaves the same way regardless of how many users are hitting the endpoints. So I can just show you how it looks. If I run it, you then get this, this graph real time of what's happening, and the endpoints that are getting hit. If there's any errors, you see them pop up, and I can see the number of requests per second, just to make it so there's a lot on the graph and it looks like it's doing a lot of stuff. So that's two of the things that I'm going to mention because I don't want to spend too much time on that. But there is a lot more, and if you're interested in more, my recommendation would be to go to the Postman blog and read about all of the announcements that we've made. So from tags to API performance to, let's see, we've got new roles, new updates about API governance, etc. So I'm going to drop that in the chat as well, and you can go and check it out at your own leisure. Okay, so hopefully that was short enough, and we can jump in the cool stuff that we're going to do today. Will, would you be able to summarize what we're going to do today?
Yeah, so we're going to use a bit of Miro REST API and also obviously a bit of Postman. And we're going to go through Miro authorization and kind of give you guys a sense of what that looks like to use our REST APIs. And then we'll do a bit of fun with some sticky notes, which if you're familiar with Miro, that's kind of like our iconic like item that you have on a board. Yeah, we'll talk a bit about that. Maybe we might play around a little bit with webhooks if we have time. And yeah, we also will see, what we can do with Postman Flows and things like that.
Yeah.
And it'll be fun. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, actually, and one other thing that I do want to mention, so we'll try to make it a bit interactive, and hopefully we'll give you viewers a chance to create the sticky notes as just from your side using webhooks and piping it all the way to Miro through Postman. So that would be I think that's going to be interesting. We've not tried it before, so it may not work, but hopefully it's going to work. I see Stefan asking if we're going to share a recording. Yes. If you're watching on LinkedIn, you can come back to that same page when the stream is over, and you'll be able to watch it again, or you can find it on our YouTube channel. So it's youtube.com/Postman, and a lot of the recordings from previous live streams are there as well. So yes, there will be a recording. Cool. So I guess the first thing, and that's you already said that, it's like if you're familiar with Miro, you may be familiar with sticky notes. Mm-hmm. But what if you're not familiar with Miro? Yeah. What can you say about Miro? Give a quick overview. Yeah. What is it used for? Who is it for? Yeah,
definitely. So yeah, for anyone who's not familiar with Miro, we are what we call a visual collaboration platform. So kind of like a highly extensible canvas for you to collaborate with others in either a virtual setting or a hybrid setting. So like I was saying before, you might be familiar with our infinite canvas and our sticky notes and other kind of really iconic examples of things that you can do with Miro. But we're actually also a platform and an ecosystem that goes beyond just that kind of whiteboard experience. And that's where the Miro developer platform comes in. So we've actually built a platform that enables developers to build third-party apps and integrations on top of Miro. So that could be via our REST API. We also have a web SDK, and we have what we call a live embed, which is a lightweight JavaScript embeddable component that you could easily add to a site or app.
Nice.
But of course, today we'll be focused mostly on our REST API, given that we're working with Postman and going to be doing a lot of fun things with that. And yeah, so currently I'm showing you our developer portal, which is kind of the gateway to all things Miro APIs. And you can see up at the top here, we've got all the different components that I just mentioned. But again, we'll be focusing primarily on our REST API.
I'm actually, just out of interest, can you tell me a bit more about live embed and what it entails?
Yeah. So a live embed is basically the ability to embed a Miro board directly on a web page. And actually show you an example, because we've actually built a developer challenge that uses our live embed. And so this is an example of embedding a Miro board directly within our documentation, but this could be your own app or your own website, and from here you could really explore all different aspects of a Miro board. This in particular is a developer challenge where we ask people to use a part of our developer platform to search components or items on a Miro board purely programmatically. So there's thousands of images on here. And there's little hidden nuggets or Easter eggs that you could find.
Sorry, where's Wally?
Yeah, exactly. Where's Wally? Depending on what part of the world you're in.
Yeah, sorry.
No, I call it Where's Waldo as well. So we're on the same page.
Okay, nice. Yeah, that's very cool. Okay, that's kind of what I was expecting. Remind me of Trello. I don't know if Trello has like the whole interactive things. I've used Trello as just like cards moving around. But yeah, very cool. So let's explore. So I'm going to pretend I don't know about Miro, mostly because I actually do not know about Miro. So I'll put myself in the shoes of someone who doesn't have an account, which is also the case, and then you can walk me through what a user should do. So I'm actually going to hide the chat for now. So I'll just push you. Let me try push you where. Okay, we're still seeing your messages, so they're still coming in, and I can see people saying hi, etc. So keep on posting your messages if you have any feedback or questions, and we'll take them as we go. But we just want to make sure there's enough space for you to see what we're doing. So I guess the first step would be creating a Miro account.
Yeah, exactly. So that's like prerequisite number one is if you don't have a Miro account, you'll want to create one. You don't need a Miro account to play around with certain parts of our platform, but using our API today and whatnot definitely makes sense to create.
Yeah, good point. Good point from Kevin. It says everybody always asks where's Waldo, but not how's Waldo.
I feel you on that, Kevin.
Okay, so I'll sign up for free. I'll do stream. Okay.
Yeah, so it'll ask you just a couple of questions here.
Password. Can I generate one from here? Yeah, there we go. Hopefully no one at the time to look at my password. And I will not display my emails on. So if you just give a sec for the email to come in. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, so I've got my account. I guess that's first step.
Yep. So from here, I guess I would say create a new team just so we can work with something from scratch.
Is there a limitation to like the number of teams I can have in the free account, or?
Yeah, I believe it's maybe like 3 or so. I'll have to double check, but
so I'll do
this should be okay.
Miro live stream. What do I do?
Everyone loves these questions,
right? Yeah. I'm gonna be doing IT services. Have you ever used? No. I guess education.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I am a team manager. That is a. Could I skip these questions, or do I actually have to?
You have to, yeah. But this is the last one, I promise.
How did I hear about it?
Yeah. Okay. So now you can start skipping.
Okay.
And
thanks.
Yeah, you can skip this as well. Just kind of hit let's start and yeah.
Oh, sorry. I did start from scratch instead.
No, you're fine. Awesome. So we want to work with our REST API today, right? Mm-hmm. And we want to play around with that. So actually, I'm going to ask you to go to developers.miro.com.
I also should have on the screen for anyone who wants to join in. There we go.
Yep, that's great. And then from here, if you go to our REST API section from the pill at the top there, yep. For anybody who's watching and has never used like Miro before and wants to just like quickly get up to speed, over here on the left-hand side, we've got our like quick start guide that walks us through the essentials for just like creating a team and everything. But instead of reading through this, I'm just going to tell you, Arlemi, like where you can go. Okay. You can actually go to Developer Hub on the upper right-hand side of your screen.
Upper right-hand, yeah, there you go.
Exactly.
So that is to get my credentials or something like that?
Yeah, so this is where we'll create like a developer team and a developer app. And that's what generates like our client ID and client secret for OAuth. So if you go down to the Your Apps section.
That's not clickable. There we go.
And you're going to hit create your first app. And then this is going to ask us to create a new developer team. So developer team is just a team in Miro that doesn't really have, it's basically just for development purposes. You can have like 3 boards under it, and it allows you to play around with APIs and the Web SDK, and it'll have like a...
So Sorry, I was going to say it's not linked to the team that I've created previously.
Right, this will be a brand new kind of disassociated team, exactly. Yep. So you hit create team, and then it's going to ask you to create a new app, and you can just call this whatever you'd like. And it's going to create it under your developer team. And yeah, and then you can hit create app. And then this is where we've generated a client ID, client secret, and this is what we'll use for our OAuth. So for actually today's purposes, we're going to want to specify a redirect URI for our OAuth implementation.
Yep.
And you can use one of your liking, or
like whichever. So it could be if I want to put like the Postman website.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And yeah, if you're developing locally, we do support like localhost there. Yeah, and then the next thing we need to do is select some scopes for our app. So like, what can Miro APIs access on behalf of a user? And we can just keep the default ones here, which is boards read and boards write. That's going to allow us to create sticky notes, delete sticky notes, create other items on a board, create boards, delete boards, that kind of stuff. And then we can go through the OAuth flow like end to end, or we can actually just click this install app and get OAuth token button. And this is just going to run that OAuth flow on the back end for us. And here you could authorize any of your two teams, but I recommend doing the dev team because that's where we're going to create some boards. And this gives us an access token, so we can go ahead and copy that.
Let's save it on the side for now. Yep. Okay.
And then you can hit the X on the upper right-hand corner there. I think there's a small bug where that needs to be fixed. So if we go back to developers.miro.com, we can start exploring some of the APIs here. So if you go to the REST API section, let's just scroll down to, I guess on the left-hand side, under boards, we can go to get boards. And we would expect this to be empty because we haven't made any boards yet, but we can submit a request like right from the docs here to test it out. So if we paste in our token for the bearer there and just hit try it, we'll see we get 200 response, but we haven't created any boards yet. So
it looks a lot like something we could do on Postman.
Yeah, exactly.
Just say.
So I guess, yeah, like as a first step, let's create a board so that we can actually work with something here.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's go through the like non-developer flow.
Yeah.
And like create nodes just like
yeah,
like using point and click, and then we can go through like the
awesome
technical bits.
So if we go to our developer team, like on the left-hand side here, I think yeah, you should be in it. Yep, perfect. So if you hit new board. Okay. And yep, it'll be a shared board. You can't have a private board here. And the first thing is like, it's going to show you some options to use like some predefined Miro templates for like the most common kinds of use cases. But for us, we can just kind of X out of this and like start from scratch with creating some items on the board. And you've got a nice little pop-up for some Miro AI stuff there as well, which we can show you a little bit too. Yeah. So from the left-hand toolbar, we can create a sticky note by clicking on sticky note, and choose one you like, and we can write anything in this. Like, hey stream, how's it going? Perfect. And then we can create some other items too. So like, how about we create like some shapes? Yep.
Can I turn it around? No.
Yeah, you can use the little arrow there. We can also add images. So like, for instance, if we want to, I don't know, go to like unsplash.com or like some kind of royalty-free site, we could look for like an image of like, I don't know, whatever. Yeah.
Like that.
You could just copy that. And actually, even, within Miro, we have other apps that allow you to search for images as well. So you just pasted this from a URL, but like if you go to the left-hand toolbar and you see the little like plus button on the bottom there, that's where you can access like apps that live in Miro that people have built from third parties. And if we type in like Unsplash or Google, this is another way to easily like search and like drag images from there onto the board.
But like me just pasting the URL, it recognized that it was an image and it turned it into an image as well.
Yeah, right. It kind of knows like, okay, this was an image, so here we go.
Yeah, and now I realize the size of that image compared to like the little sticky note.
Yeah, exactly. And if you click on the image, actually, like some cool stuff we can do with like Miro AI, which is like that diamond blue icon. yeah, you could like remove the background if you wanted to. And it'll just take care of that like right on the Miro board for us, which is like pretty handy. And you can see like now we've just got just the glass, not a background.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it works pretty well too. I was surprised. I was always expecting to see like a grainy kind of like outline of an image, like you might expect. But
yeah.
Also, like if you double click on the image, you can like change the mask. So right now it says custom, but you could make it like a circle or something like that. And if this had a background, you'd see like kind of an overlay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Nice.
Yeah. So this is, just kind of like the tip of the iceberg. And in terms of what like you could do with Miro, a lot of people will use like a Miro board for like, agile practices or rituals and like Kanban boards, like sprint planning, all that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah, I could spend like, let's stop here because I can spend half an hour playing around, like pasting stuff, removing background, and putting them places. We've got Ashish who has a question actually for you. Does it have an auto save feature, or do we need to manually save it?
Yeah, so everything auto saves. What you see is exactly what you would see if you X'd out and went back to this board.
Okay, so like if I close it, open it somewhere else.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
So it does. It does. Confirmed. Tested and approved.
Will's not lying on.
Yeah. Okay, that's very cool. So now I guess like the next step is we want to get these sticky notes to be generated magically using APIs.
Yeah, exactly.
So we have. Do you want to jump straight into it, or should I? Actually, I can show first how to get started with the collection.
Yeah, that sounds good, and then we can then we can start working with the endpoints.
Okay, so you have a public workspace, I assume.
Yes. So if you go to the Postman Explorer, if you type in Miro Developer Platform, that should bring you to our public workspace. Yeah, perfect.
Nice.
And in this like overview page, we've just got kind of a few of the quick steps that you just went through, Arlemi, kind of outlined on how to get started. And yeah, it's basically like just walks through OAuth and some of our starting examples.
So I would get is it this one I'm interested in?
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Okay,
and
so I'm going to fork it to my account. So for anyone not familiar with forking in Postman, or the public API network which we're in at the moment. So companies like Miro make their like documentation or collection reference available, and then as a user you can just jump in, bring a fork, so like a copy of it on your account. So I have created a workspace for that live stream right before, and then I should be able to play around with it. Minus, I probably have to log in somewhat, but we can figure that out. Okay, so I have the collection now. It's in my own team workspace. It's only my stuff, and I can safely put credentials without risking anything. But I'm assuming, so let's say if I want to use the same one that we had before, which is this one.
Yeah, so there's a lot of optional parameters in here right now, but actually you can uncheck each of these optional parameters.
Oh, maybe not that one.
And yeah, actually even team ID we won't need.
Okay.
So yeah, if you go ahead and hit send, or we might need to add the auth here. Let's see.
Yeah, so I can see you've got this little thing here, which is probably new, which I think you've set up recently.
Yes. I guess perhaps I set it up under my personal workspace. I'm just realizing rather than.
No, so it should. So this is a new feature that Postman has as well. So for API providers like Miro, they can now let users, anyone, so they don't know who I am, they don't know I'm trying to use their API in that workspace, but Postman is able to identify that, and it's going to prompt me, oh, you're trying to access that, but you're getting unauthorized. Maybe you forgot to set up authorization. So I should be able to click just that and be told to set up the authentication. You need to create a developer team, a developer app. You can find the steps here. So I've actually done that already.
Yep. Perfect.
So can I just click authorize?
Let's see.
Okay.
So yep, this should allow you to select the team that you just created.
Yeah, I go dev team. So it's kind of the flow we went through before, but just from Postman. And it's already, okay. And I've got my token here.
Glad to see it worked. This is great.
That's actually pretty cool. And so I I'm already taking a step like forward just because I know I'm going to reuse that token in other like requests. So I'm going to save it in an environment, and then I have it here, and it's ready to be used like for other. I can do a quick look. Have it here, and it's ready to be used for like other requests. So now I should be able to send, and it worked. Aha.
Awesome.
Cool.
Very nice.
There's no, so there's, oh, is that my board actually? It is my board, is it?
Oh, actually, that's not your board. So maybe, did we create a board under the dev team, or is it possible we created it under your other team? Let's see. If you click on the Miro logo on the left-hand side, and if you go to dev team on the far left, yeah. So here we'll need to actually create a new board.
Okay, so I'll go again.
And you can tell you're in like your developer team because there's this developer watermark.
Yeah. Pretty obvious now.
Yep.
Okay. So we same state, and now I should be able to send this one again and see.
Might take just like a moment, perhaps.
Okay. Too much in a hurry.
Yeah, give it a try now. Let's see. Maybe a little bit of caching.
Let's see. What if I force the team ID?
I don't think that should matter in this case. Can you try just replacing? Oh wait, no, the base URL is correct. Yep. Actually, Arlemi, do you want to PM me your token just so I can make sure that it's?
Let's see. Is it saved? No. Get boards. Yeah, some live debugging.
There we go. Okay, I'm just gonna double check this. Interesting. Let's try adding the board ID. So we'll call like a particular board. So if we go to Miro.
This one?
Yep, exactly. And if we plug in for the board ID variable, the ID from the board, and we can get that from the URL in the like Miro browser. So it's
that part.
Yeah, exactly.
Without the last filling?
Exactly. You know, yep, no / Yep.
So what I've done, by the way, I've highlighted because it showed there was an unresolved variable. So I created the variable from that prompt. And now if I send this, ooh, that's very cool. I actually did not know we had this. So I have created authorization from that other request. And now Postman tells me, you've already created one. Do you want to reuse the same one? So I'm just going to do yes, and send. And now I have a board. Okay, very nice.
So yeah, your board has no name, but you can see it was created by you. And I think it was really just a small delay. I think if we even tried the first request again, it should work.
Yes.
So yeah, perfect. So yeah, here you can just get a list of the boards under your account. But we could also use this information administratively, perhaps.
Okay. So I'm just trying to think when you want to take over.
Yeah. If you'd like, I can kind of take over from here and show how we can create some sticky notes and like create some more dynamic entries on the board using my Postman space as well.
I'll create one sticky note and then you can take over. I do want to try that. So I'm assuming it's going to be create sticky note item.
Exactly.
I have a board ID that I've previously set up.
Yep.
And then let's see what it requires. It wants a content, a shape. Okay.
So it can be either square or rectangle. Kind of the standard squares is my personal favorite.
Gray. So the style, the color.
Yes, so we could maybe make the fill color like blue, for instance. Yep.
Position on the board.
Yep, exactly. So as I was saying earlier, it's kind of like an infinite canvas, so you can let your mind run wild with what coordinates you'd like to use. But it should be easy to find this one if we keep it somewhere in the hundreds.
Does it? How do I know the coordinates as I move around?
So
can I?
So you don't actually know it from the UI, but if we were to call like a GET request on the board items, they'd all have their unique geometric data.
Okay, so I'll go. I'll do 200 and 300 because why not?
Yep.
And see what happens. Okay, let's send this. Of course. This is saved authorization. Say it again.
All right, and there it is.
Cool. Yeah. Almost instant as well. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. And you'll notice there's like an optional parameter at the bottom of the body, and it's parent ID.
Yeah.
So you can actually also add parent like frames. So you could it's a good way to like kind of group items on a Miro board. And frames are like, they're currently the only thing that can be like a parent item. But if we had a bunch of different frames on our board and we wanted to make sure that we were adding sticky notes in a certain area, we could associate them with like a parent item. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. And then would they move together, or are they just linked together in code per se?
Primarily linked together with that association. If you were to move the frame by itself, the sticky note would stay where it is, but it's just like to kind of signify the relationship.
Okay. Yeah. So I really like that you can do. I just want to try something as well. So one thing that you may be interested in. So is it circle, the other one?
Rectangle.
You can use rectangle. So for anyone watching, but also you, because you're like creating these collections, etc., you can now actually write comments in your body, even though that's not correct. It's not correct JSON. Like, you're not supposed to be able to write comments here. We actually parse them before the request is sent, but it's very useful in terms of documenting. So like, you can actually say like one of rectangle square, and you can add like more comments for your users to know what to expect in these places, while not actually breaking the execution. So I could still create it, and I'm assuming it's going to create one on top of it. Yeah, there we go. So just a quick FYI. It's pretty good for
that's cool. It makes it like way easier to it's like just user friendly, I feel like.
Yeah. And we have another question from Ashish. Let's see. Have another question. If we enter numerical data where it needs to text data, will it give an error in response, or will it go ahead and create a sticky note and like if call it 1, 2, 3, 4? Should we try?
Yeah. So let's see. If we enter numerical data.
So instead of field color blue, I can do field color 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. I don't think that'll work. I think there's actually a standard set of basic colors. You'll even notice if you go to the UI, you can only select like so many color options. So it has to be one of those predefined like Miro colors.
Yeah, and so one of my colleagues who's working, Arno, who's working on API design and good API design, would be super happy with what you have here, because in the response, so you have a 400 byte request, but you go all the way to give in what the error is, so what field is not complete, also what the values should be, and that's extremely important as a developer experience to know. It's not just not working; it's not working, and this is why, and this is how you can fix it. So I can actually use Bing.
It removes the need to reach out to someone and say like, hey, what's this?
Yeah. So now we have 3. Cool. Okay. So on my end, it's a check. I've been able to create sticky notes dynamically from the API. And now let's see your part where we can. So we'll try 2 things. The first one is going to be, we'll try to generate a bunch of them at once. So we'd get a file, probably CSV, and then we'll just like spam the creation. And then the other thing is going to be using Postman Flows to allow pretty much anyone outside to call that endpoint and create the sticky notes.
I'm game.
Okay, let's see. Can I share your screen?
Yes, please.
Okay, let's do that.
All right, so.
Okay, so you'll have to zoom in a bit. First thing is,
There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm here in the Postman web app, and So I was just using Arlemi's token for some testing purposes, but I'm going to go ahead and actually just start.
Oh, we can actually use
We're
the
using the
same
same.
role.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Even better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That works.
Great.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's go down to sticky notes here and create a request that'll create a sticky note. So let's see.
So the first thing is yeah. So we wanna. So you're in the public workspace. I just want to make sure you're not leaking any.
There we go.
Yeah, you're not leaking any of them, any of the credentials.
Good point. All right.
Okay, you have the same connection here, or it's just okay? Maybe go back to the public workspace. Like fork the connection, then we work with the same base with that same connection.
All right. Is it here? Yep. Perfect.
Yep. Okay, so now you have the connection in your workspace. So you can try sending a request that will be not identified. It should prompt you the same way. Like, do you wanna log in?
Yeah. Okay. Let's give that a try here. So for the board ID, I guess I will need your board ID.
Okay. Let's see if I still have it in my. Nope.
And you can grab it from the URL as well.
There you go.
Awesome. So I'll just save this as an environment variable. Oops.
Yeah, I don't think you have an environment yet. Mine got created when I actually set up the auth. So you can put it at the collection level. That works the same.
All right. So we've got that. Got our body here. Let's go ahead and give that a try. And now I can set up the authorization as Arlemi was just saying. So following the same steps here.
Yeah. So that's going to auth to your own account. But the benefit here is that at least it's going to set up you can go through this, set up whichever, and then we just replace the token.
Yeah, sure.
But at least we'll have the infrastructure for it. So now if you click Save Authorization, so that's the part that creates the environment. And now we can go to the Environments tab on the left-hand side. Check the environment and replace the token with the one that I had sent to you earlier.
All right. And
so now let's save. And then if you go back to let's try sending this and see what happens.
Awesome. So this should be a gray sticky. This is.
Yep.
Perfect.
I'll send you the link so you can also open it, check on it.
And I'm just going to request access real quick.
Good point. I thought it was public by default.
No, so the board itself will be shared automatically with people like on your team, but outside of that, for security reasons.
Okay, well, you've been invited to my team then. There you go.
All right, perfect. Yep. So now we're working from the same spot. Great.
Nice. So we want to. Now the point is we want to like blast new sticky notes. But there's two things. The first one is we need to have data to send, and the second one is it kind of needs to be randomized. So we don't like just pile up sticky notes on top of each other. Right? Like we want to see them popping here and there. So if you go back to the body of that request. There's some of the stuff. There's two ways to do it. Either we do it fully randomized, or we actually feed some data. So let's do the first one where it's fully randomized, and then we'll feed some data. So are you familiar with dynamic variables in Postman?
Not so much. Yes, you might have to help me out a little bit there.
Okay. So we have these variables that it's using a JavaScript library called Faker. Okay. So if you replace the halo for content, so you do double curly braces and then dollar in the middle, and you can type random. So now you have a list of random things you can generate.
Awesome.
So you could say try random sentence maybe. You can try typing. Yeah, random sentence, and then we probably want a random position.
Yeah.
So you can do the same for the X. There should be a random, so dollar random int probably, or numerical maybe. Alphanumeric, yeah, you can use that one, and use the same for the Y.
I'm learning some Postman tricks today, so this is great. I didn't know you could do this. Awesome.
Okay, so that's I guess the least we need. So now if you click send, we can try and check if we see something on the other side. Yeah, it could be anywhere. that's the only problem.
Let's make this one pink or something that will stand out, I guess.
Yeah, and the other thing we can do, so if you use see the console at the bottom left, very bottom left of the app. Yeah, so that you can actually check what's being sent. So if you click on the post, the last one, sorry, the last one that was sent, then you have the request body. Yeah, and you can see, so it was sent at position. So we said random alphanumerical. Yeah, should be. My bad.
Fix that. That makes sense because we have an error here, which is 400 malformed JSON.
So let me try to find the random int int.
There we go.
There you go. Yeah. That should be better. Can you zoom in once more?
Is that a little bit?
Yeah, that's much better. Yeah.
All right, let's give this a try. All right, so it says it's been created.
Yep, I see it.
It is down here. Beautiful sentence.
Okay, so and now what you can do, so we'll do something. So yeah, if you go back now, what you can do, so go back to the collections tab on the left. And are you familiar with the collection runner?
Yes, I believe I've used it once before, but it's been a minute.
Yeah, so you'll have to use the 3 dots next to the collection name. So next to Miro Developer Platform, and then there's Run Collections. Yeah. Make sure you save the request you've created. Yeah. And then we can deselect all because we're only interested in that one request. So the create, is it sticky note item?
Yes,
at the bottom?
here it is.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you can select the number of iterations. So maybe make it 50.
Yeah.
There's a couple more options in here. So there's the performance things I've talked about. There's the scheduled runs if you wanted to run that on a cron job. So before you click send, so can you scroll down on the right-hand side? No, you can't. Yeah. So let me just move our faces. Okay. So there's the run Miro. So when it's going to click this is going to send 50 times that same request, but with different values. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually share my screen while you do this. Well, actually, no, you can just swap from one to the other. So click run and then swap to the other tab. Okay, and now we see stuff happening everywhere.
This is great. Let's see if we can break the Miro API.
Is there a spam limit?
There is, but it should be much higher than 50, I think. This is awesome, though. This is great.
I mean, we're on the free account, so maybe. Yeah, so we only did 50. We could do anything, and it's just gonna loop over and create them. It might have reached it already. So if you go back to Postman, let's see. So it's over. See, it's you see the 50 iterations. So it took 21 seconds to create 50 sticky notes. Obviously, it's just random stuff. Now what we can do, so instead of feeding random data, we could have a file that's fed in. So do you mind opening VS Code or whatever text editor you use? So we'll create a CSV file. And if you zoom in a bit, so create a new file. And so we'll want the The first one is going to be content. Yeah, sorry.
All right.
So it's going to be content, comma, X, comma, Y.
Okay.
Okay, and so that's your header. And then new line, you can just, we're not going to write like 1,000 of them. You can just write 3 of them. So yeah, create whatever you would want to have for 3 sticky notes.
Okay. Let's see.
So I don't even think you need the
oh no.
quotes.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
And then we can just do, I guess, a random integer.
Yeah, you can just do 50-50. Yeah,
Simple.
don't overthink it. Yeah. And in the meantime, I'm gonna blast you with questions while you work.
Perfect.
We have a question which is, what if we give negative numbers in the X and Y? Does it allow it? So like, is the board like 0 to max, or is it like the middle is in the middle is 0 and then you can go minus and plus?
This is actually a great question. I think we should try it out. I've never done the negative before, but
yeah, put a negative in here. Put minus 80.
I think
and, yeah.
I believe it should work. We'll say minus 80. Yeah.
Okay, so can you erase line 1 and 2? Make content the first line.
Yes.
Okay, save that. So that's all we need to fit in some data. So you can imagine, for now we only have 3 lines, but you can imagine someone comes with an Excel spreadsheet of like 1,000 rows, and they want to fit that into their, database, Miro, whatever. So now you can go back to Postman and use the. So before going down, actually, we're going to go to the request and change the name of the variables to be instead of random. So this one is going to be X without the dollar, and the other one is going to be Y, and the top one should be content. So we just need to name it the same way it's named in the CSV, so it knows what to refer to. So if you save that, you can go back to like the collection runner window. So if you click the 3, yeah. So you can do new run at the top right. And this time, see there's a little select file. Yeah, there you go. So you can go and find the CSV file, and it should find it. So let me move the faces to the right-hand side again. Okay, so if you click preview,
oh, nice.
It's going to show again. So it shows you what's actually going to happen. There's going to be 3 iterations, and this time, you don't have to give the number of iterations you want. It's going to like figure it out from the number of rows in your file.
Wow, this is very handy.
So that's what we need. I'm going to. Oh, do you want to make the sticky notes another color?
Yeah, good idea. Let's see. Let's double check what options are here. All right, so just going to sticky notes over here.
Yeah, maybe if we put like minus 80, so Kevin is saying the sticky ends up in the back rooms. Just gonna have to dig for it.
Yeah, we can do, how about cyan? I feel like that's the loud, loud color here. Okay.
Okay, save it, and then try it again. See what happens.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so we have 3, so it means the minus 800 worked some way. But I wouldn't be able to say like what's what.
Yeah, where exactly. Yeah, a lot of it is like I was saying, like kind of in the context of on the board, like where are all the items relative to each other. So that's like kind of the intention behind the coordinates. Not so much to look at it as like an XY graph itself.
Okay, I see. That makes sense. Cool. So that's the 2 options for like creating sticky notes dynamically. And now we'll go to the fun part. So for now, we've only been like sending single requests, and now let's talk about Postman Flows.
Yes.
So if you're not familiar with Flows, for anyone following, you can actually open it. So it's on the left-hand side in your screen. It's a way to like pair up like request calls together and like create a workflow. So if I want to have a first request which is getting data from somewhere, then filtering it to only select maybe the users whose age is higher than like 25, and then sending only these users to like another system, then I can pretty easily do that using flows. So you've created a new one already, and our flow is going to be like super simple. Like it's literally just going to be a single request, so you're not going to do any filtering. But let's see, what does it say? Flows does not. Oh, so I'm assuming you've been creating that before the last update. So if you want to delete that flow and create a new one,
Let's see.
just so you have the full experience. Yeah, so you can click on the 3 dots next to this, delete it,
Okay.
and then create flow. So now we have this new UI. So I wanted to show that. That's why I made it delete it. Yeah, you can close the other tab if they're like, if you keep on switching between them. But yeah, so now you have this little UI that tells you, okay, this is how you get started. You can either send a request or you can go and explore the different blocks. So if you can actually click on explore blocks just to show the experience. If you click this, it lists all of the blocks that are available to do some like data manipulation, to send some requests, to do some workflow, etc. But in our case, all we want to do for now is just sending a request. So you can click, you can actually either drop this one here and then link it with the start.
Oops, sorry.
Yeah, so if you click, see how there's like a,
okay.
From here and drag and drop to there. So that's how you create your flow. You're basically saying my data is going to flow from here to there, and you just drag the direction. Once you have that, so we need to select a request now. So we'll go for the ones that we've already created, which is the create sticky note. So if you click on there, then sticky notes, create sticky note item. So you can see it offers, what do you want to use for these, for this variable, for content, behavior, etc. If we don't fill that in, it's going to use the one that are already in the environment, but you just need to make sure you select the environment. So you see below there, you've got add environment. Yeah. So if you click on that,
awesome,
it should autofill some of these. So now let's try sending it and see what happens. So if you click the run at the bottom, okay, so something may have happened. We don't have any debug at the moment, so we don't even know what's happening. So there's two options to check now. Either you open the console again, so bottom left, all the way bottom left, and you can see the last. So that's 400. So it said bad request. It was not happy with something that we've sent. It's because we did not replace the content, right?
Oh, yeah.
So that's one thing. And then at least it was authenticated, so that's pretty good. You actually took the auth from environment. So let's try, and so if you click on content X and Y, you should be able to like, so you can do string. And then,
Oops.
So eventually we'd want, we'd want these to be dynamic. Let me see. Okay, so let's try to send this one. And open the console just to see. Okay, so we got a 201, very cool. There's actually a different way to do it. So instead of like opening the console, what you can do, see on the right-hand side, you've got success and failure.
Yes.
So that's the output of your blog. So whatever like comes back from the request will go through one of these two based on what's happening.
Very cool.
So what you can do, you can drag out of success and then release. So if you click on the little gray rectangle that's just to the right of success, just a little bit to the right of that, on the outside of the block. Yeah, that one. So if you drag and drop on the outside, and you can release anywhere, now that's going to offer. So here you can look for log. You can search if you want to do that. Yeah. So either log or output. We can actually do both. You can drag another one out of success, just so we can show the difference. And for this one, use output. So the main difference here is log is just going to put it in the log. So the log are going to show up on the right-hand side where you have the sidebar with the little play button, etc. The output is just going to show it directly on Flows.
Oh, okay.
And we've got great suggestions actually from Ashish, which is clear the
yeah,
console.
Good idea.
So it's easier.
There we go.
Very nice. Okay, so let's try sending it again and see what happens.
Oh, awesome.
So it does that. So I'm not sure how much that's going to be useful, but you see that little like JSON toggle at the top right of the output. You can automatically turn it to like a bar chart or something. So if you select table, yeah, so it's going to turn your response into a table. So whenever you're working with like certain type of data, same again, your API is sending a long JSON form. You can just use that to display a table, or you can display a graph, or you can display whatever based on the content you receive. Yeah, it's probably doesn't make sense for that response to display a line. But let's say you have like a bunch of data points, then you can do that.
Wow, that's very cool.
And then the log actually shows up. See on the right hand side, you've got that that play button. Yes, if you click there, and I think now I'm worried I'm going to say something wrong. It might not be there because it may have moved. Maybe it's just. Can you open the console?
Yes.
In that case. Okay. So it's logging to the console directly. Okay. So then you have it, and you don't have to like expand everything.
This is great. Very cool.
Cool. So that's the simple flow. But you're local, right? Like it's you clicking send, etc. You may have noticed there's like a deploy button at the top right.
Yes.
You hadn't noticed it. Okay. we need to make it bigger. Make the deploy button bigger. Yeah. So if you click that, yeah, you can go ahead. Now we have a live URL, and you can actually. So if you copy that URL and open a new tab in Postman and paste it, now you can call that URL, and it's going to trigger your flow.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
And that's it. That's how it does. So we've been sending I don't know how many requests. I don't know how many new sticky notes we've created. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to tell
just
which one.
They're all on top of each other. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Cool. So we've got these three. Yeah. Can you try sending this one again just to make sure?
Yeah.
We have another one. We don't. So something has happened. So we can go back to the flow and then check what happened. So see there's the webhook heavens on the right hand side below the and we can actually open the console because we have the logs in the console. 401 unauthorized, so it's not pulling the authorization.
I see. Okay.
Why would that be? I'm trying. If you have any suggestions, what I'm thinking about, or if chat has some suggestions to unblock us. So it's not putting the credentials. Maybe because they are set. Oh, I think I know. Can you double check your environment? So if you click on the left-hand side in the environments and then open it. Okay, cool. So kind of context for Postman. Postman has like kind of two ways to work. Either you work locally, and that's what we've been doing until now, or you deploy something to the Postman cloud. So that can be a monitor, that can be a scheduled run, that can be a flow. But whenever you deploy something, it only has access to the initial values in your like variables. So that's the variables that are synced to the servers.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And because we've put everything in current value, it's not finding the access token. So if you copy paste that access token into the initial value, that should solve it.
Give it another go here. So just hit send and see.
Yep. And check on Miro. Okay, then let's keep on debugging.
Go back to the console here.
Yeah, 401 still. Okay. So let's see the if you scroll back up for the request headers, yeah. So we have the Postman token that is there, but we don't have. So it should be in here, right?
Yeah. There should be a bearer token.
Yeah. So let's close the console, and check check on the flows. Can you zoom in a bit to this one? And then, so this one is working. So it's definitely pulling the right thing. And can you check the environment once more?
Yes.
We'll do it all again.
Okay, let's see. Miro developer.
Can you copy? Can you actually hover on the token type?
Yes.
On the right-hand side and click the little view icon. Okay, so I think we need to copy grant type, token type, and all of these as well. We've got Krishna saying nice feature in the chat, but we can't get it to work. Just wait. It's going to get better.
Interesting.
Oh, could it be that you've not pasted the correct access token and you've pasted something else instead?
Yep. All of this. Okay.
Yeah, let's double check that after. Yeah.
Issues. Yep.
Okay, and grant type as well. Now I'm wondering that was probably the issue rather than that, but okay, let's make sure we save and then try sending this again. Still no.
Let's see here.
But that's fine. Please go to request headers and click on an option called what is. So this is the last one, and it's still not sending the request headers. Yeah, we can actually try what Ashish is saying. So if you go to a request, yeah, feel free to close the tabs as like we can reopen them later if they're like in the way. Yeah. So here in the headers tab, and you click the 9 hidden ones. So we do have bear at the top. Is there? So let's actually write it manually. So create a new entry in here. So below you can do authorization. And then bearer. And paste the bearer token. Just trying to hijack the authorization system. Do not try this at home. Okay, and then save this. Okay, and now, yeah, try this one. Yeah, I don't know.
Nothing yet.
So I'll kind of want to try it. So I should be able to do kind of the same thing, right? I just want to see if it's like it shouldn't be an account thing, but I'll try it quickly.
Yeah, no problem.
I'll try to recreate what you had. So I go to here. Let's try that this still works. Use set authorization. Okay, so it works. Let's do close. send a request. Sticky note. Um, 201. Now I'm so confused. Which one is it? Let me check what I had put in there. Body was hello. So this one is just a simple hello. Hello from Flows debug. Send this. Can I search? Oh, there it is.
Yeah, yep, right there on top, yep.
So this one works. Now I can do deploy. Got my webhook URL. Paste. Oh, no, the website. Okay. Interesting. Let's do HTTP. So, okay, it fails at the same place. So it's kind of a good news because at least we have the same issues.
That's true. It's better to have one problem than two.
Yeah. So now, check. Yeah, for some reason, it's just not adding the authorization to the request when using the webhook. Do I have anything here? So what if in here, so I'm going to, access token is going to be string, and I'm going to paste the access token directly. So that's kind of a, again, it's more hijacking of deploy and send it again. Oh no. Let's switch to the app. Flows. Okay.
It's nice that you have the option to put in these raw entries, though.
Yeah, we've debugged too much. But let's try that on yours. We'll do one last try, and otherwise I'll have to consider myself beaten by the flows. But so if you copy the bearer token, oops, make sure you show it before, because otherwise it's not going to copy it. Yeah, and then go to the flow. So you need to back to editor at the top.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, to be able to edit it, because otherwise it's the live version, and you can see what's happening.
I see. Okay.
So why is there 2 access token actually? Can you put it in both just in case? See how higher you've got, yeah. Okay, and now deploy and copy the URL. Should be the same, but yeah. Okay.
And let's see. I think this is a new one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so clearly I'll have to do some work on figuring out how the authorization works between the collections and the flows, but we got it working towards the end, so that's good.
Yeah.
What this means now is that we can give that URL to anyone, and they can call that URL and send it. Ideally, what they would be able to do is give some parameters so they can write whatever they want on the sticky note as well. So I think there's there's a little trick which I'm trying to find to get the data from the webhook. Let me see. So if you go back to the flow, basically what we'll want to do is, before sending the request, from the start, we want to get whatever is being sent from the webhook.
Okay.
Set that as a variable, and then use these values in the following one. So because we're not sure how it works, you can actually, sorry, actually, I was gonna make you go back. That's fine. So if you go, see the little 3 dots next to back to editor? Actually, click on the little spin wheel below the play button.
Yep.
Right below. Yeah, that one. Okay, so now you can click on the start block. And incoming data is going to be like kind of the shape of the data that you're sending from the thing. So you can switch the language to JSON. Oh, sorry, back to editor. There you go. And then let's write a JSON, which is like content. Yeah. Oh, actually, yeah, we can put all of that. Might be a bit much. We can literally just have the 3 like content X and Y. So it doesn't. We're only going to extract what we want.
Okay.
And then like put it in the next one.
Let's see here. So. And
so if you put that, that's going to be the default value if it's not being put in. Yeah.
And shape.
No, you can literally just put X and Y there directly. You don't even. It can be the same space. We're going to extract from that JSON to then push it to the next one.
So
X, yeah, and then like 3 or something.
Oops. Okay.
And then that should be good. You can even remove the data layer, make it nice. That should do it. So now we can change our the request that you're sending to the webhook. Let's change that to a post. So the one at the top right, that one. So you can change that to a post, add a body, which is the same.
Okay.
Change the content so we know it's coming from the. Nice. I see you stopped like trying too hard of like putting the like hardcore. Okay, that's cool. So now let's make sure the flow is deployed. And actually, one thing we need to do is assign these variables. So apologies. Click back to editor, and then outside of the start, so you can put a new one, and you can and you should have, if you search for variable, you should have create variable. And here in there, if you click, you can select, you can write content, lowercase probably. Call it body instead. Okay, and now see on the left-hand side of the send request block, you can delete the flows and X and I wish I could highlight on the restream. So see the send request block, you've got all of these parameters at the bottom.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you go on the right-hand side of content, you have the 3 dots.
Oh, yep.
And then you can, so you can do delete. And then, delete. So if you click to add data block now for content,
Oops.
it's same place, sorry, next to content in
see.
the send request block. You can say get variable.
I see.
It's going to be body, but we can't do body dot something. Let's try. Let's just try that to see what's being sent. So if you deploy and trigger from, we'll do some step-by-step debugging. So now I'm assuming that's probably not going to work the way we want it. Okay, and then try calling the request. And then if you go back to the flow and the console, should not have worked if all goes.
Yeah, 400 looks like.
Yeah. So let's look at the request body. Okay,
I see.
cool. Yeah. So that's it's what's expected because it's sending the whole thing.
So we need.
So now what we have to do is
variables, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, if you do you feel confident doing this?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, nice. That's good. It's good for us. It's good feedback because it means only need to be explained once.
It's logical. Yeah.
Oh, you need to click back to editor,
right.
so you can go in edit mode. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, and for these two variables, do I need to make adjustments to this?
So that's what I'm thinking. You might need to do some. Yeah, I think we need a step in between. So if you go back to your flow, there should be. If you go out of the start again and create a new block, so many blocks. This one, let me try to find the right name of the block so you don't look for too long. So if you use the evaluate block, yep, and then in this one, you can do the value one is going to be, I guess, body dot content. Yeah. And then for, actually, do we even need this? Sorry, I'm going to make you go back. You can delete that one, delete that block. So if you just press backspace on the block. Oops. Yeah, you'll have to select the title of the block. Yeah. And then instead of that, can we go directly in the send request?
Whoops.
And try to do, instead of setting body, can we select like body dot something in there? So if you do replace that, so you can do swap and swap to I should have really pushed for one of the Flows engineers to be on the stream.
No, this is all part of the discovery.
Yeah, exactly. Let me see. Yep. Can you link? Actually, one thing you can do, can you see next to on the left of the run button? Yeah, that one. Just so we can see how it looks. Okay, so can you delete the different variables you've created, the X and Y on the left-hand side? Yeah. And can you feed from the send request from the start directly to one of the variable? As in, like, directly to the send request block in front of the content. Try any other variable. Yeah. So these ones are already taken, but try another one.
Oh,
like
I see.
yeah. Does that work? Yeah. Scroll a bit. No. Okay. Well, I think I'll have to go and work on my flows skills. That's my lesson for
me
that
too.
part.
But really, it's
Well,
it's quite powerful. Like even just the stuff I've seen so far, I can imagine how this could really be like, really imagine.
yeah. I think there's a. I know every time we've demoed Flows, so Flows has been like out for a year in beta probably, and just GA for like 3 months. But whenever we've demoed it, the first question from people was, "Can I call it from a webhook? Can I trigger it from anywhere?" So I feel like I should have prepped that part more, because at least I would have been able to say. I mean, you can trigger it, that we've seen.
Of course.
It's just the whole like passing variables through that I need to polish on. Anyway, this part is a fail on my end, but at least we were able to do everything else we wanted to do. So let's walk back through what we've done. I'll share my screen and hopefully I can give an overview. So we started from Miro, and then you helped me create an account, create a new board, create an account, create a team. Then from that team, I created a new board that was completely empty at first. From there, we had a look at the Miro API. So we was like developers.miro.com, REST API. So just to check that we had our credentials running, and then we moved into Postman. So instead of creating the sticky notes by hand, we went into Postman and checked if we could do it actually from here. So with code or with API calls. And that's what we've done. So we've just spammed this several times, and that ended up creating, which one would it be now? This one. Yeah.
Yep.
So creating this one several times. And then instead of creating them one by one, you've jumped into automating some of that, or like kind of collection running through and creating a bunch of them. So if you're just joining, we've not created all of these by hand. They were all like generated randomly. So by creating dynamic variables instead of content here, and then using the collection runner, we just loops through it as many times as we want. Was the first one. The second one was feeding it data file. So we fed in a data file that you had created, a CSV file, just like send some data, and it creates an iteration for each entry in the data file. And then we moved on to flows. That's when it got interesting. Because we were partly successful. We created a flow and we were able to like create the sticky notes from flows. So actually, if you still have it open, I'll show it again. So we went into flows and we wired some stuff together, and we were able to like create sticky notes from flows and also deploy it to a webhook, use that webhook to trigger the flow and create the sticky notes. So again, like if we had shared that webhook with you, you would have been able to code it. But the last part that's missing, and I'm probably going to do it anyway later, just for the sake of it and just put it out there. Actually, I think that would be a good thing to demo on the booth or something well. But the last part that's missing is being able to set the variables dynamically from the webhook's body, the webhook's body, and then so anyone that would have called that URL would have been able to generate like the stickiness they wanted, the positioning, the content, and then we could have imagined like setting the quarter dynamically, etc. But that's going to be for next time, unfortunately. Did I miss anything?
No, I think you covered it all, Arlemi. That was a pretty good recap. Yeah.
Cool. So actually, one thing I did not tell you before or at the end of the stream, we usually have like a community shout out or like recommendation or anything. So if there's someone in your community that you want to shout out, or like some content that you want to shout out, or some stuff that you think people should go and have a look at, this is your time.
Then no better time. Yeah, so actually, for anybody who's enjoyed like working with Miro and Postman, if you want to explore Miro more, I really encourage you to check out our completely new, revamped, like guided developer onboarding, which will take you from zero, like Arlemi was at today, to using our web SDK, using our REST APIs, all within a matter of minutes. So if you just go to developers.miro.com, where you can check the QR code that Arlemi just threw up, which is awesome. That'll get you started on calling our APIs and our web SDK in minutes.
Cool. I've put them both.
It's impossible to miss it now.
Yeah, pick and choose. Cool. Actually, I'm thinking. So I'm gonna shout out the Intergalactic again. So just in case you're interested in going to share actually. If you're interested in webinar sessions from Postman to learn about API security, and we've got more coming, so on different topics. So that's the ones that are coming up, but you can also access all of the previous ones. So these happens like every month. So all of the previous sessions from again, designing good API experience, like developer 101 on Postman, or governance, whatnot. We probably have a webinar on that, so you can go on there and check it out. And the last thing, actually, let me put that in the chat and show you on screen as well. And I guess the last thing, for anyone who's here, has any Postman questions, we had a good few on the stream today. We also have the community forum, which you may access at community.postman.com, which has us from the developer relations team, but also tons of people from the community that are there to answer your questions or like give you some insights on how to do X and Y. I'm probably going to go there now and ask how to like pass variables from a Postman webhook to the content. So if you have the answer, you can go and answer me. But yeah, I think that's it for today. Thank you, Will, for joining. Yeah. Very nice to have you around. Thank you for showing us the Miro and everything that it has to offer. We'll see you all probably next week. So we have the Intergalactic, but obviously we have the live stream for next week as well. I actually don't quite know what the topic is going to be, but if you come around, you'll be able to figure it out by yourself. So see you all soon. Have a good day. Have a good evening.
See you.
Bye.
Thanks.